A new year is upon us, and as the dawn rises on 2026, we are all hoping that it will be a good year, or at the very least, better than 2025, cause, yeesh. Sure, it had a lot of great games, but I'm hard-pressed to say that last year was an overall good year. But doomerism is a losing mentality, so we drive forwards into new hope. With that said, I would like to talk about 8 of the games I'm currently most looking forward to coming out in 2026. Bear in mind though that these are far from the only potentially great games to be coming out in 2026, and based on my past history with these lists, my game of the year is not on here, as did happen in both 2024 and 2025. The third time's the charm though, so let's talk about the releases currently listed for 2026 that I'm looking forward to. This list is in order of my excitement, so number 8 is the one that I am least excited for, but still excited for, and number 1 is my most anticipated game for 2026. Let's get started. Number 8, Witchbrook. We start off with Witchbrook, which is a game that has been on my radar for a while, but only recently got any idea of a release window. Witchbrook is a magic school life sim with that cozy vibe that makes me think that this will be a perfect wind-down game after all the longer RPGs I will be playing. It seems to me that this may be the only way I can get Kiki's Delivery Service in video game form, and I'm jumping for it. There's still much to know about the characters, how the schedule will be managed, the magic, and what happens with that, but on vibes alone, we're already off to a great start. We also have an online co-op mode, which means me and my friend, who I have a Stardew farm with, can potentially bring over that skill set to some fun times with Witchbrook as well. It is the lowest on the list because there's still much to know and these games are not my main focus when it comes to gaming, but I could see it still being a big and enjoyable part of the year for me. Number 7, Football Tactics and Glory World. The next 2 games share a number of similar qualities. They are both likely to be releasing in early access next year, not yet their full releases. They're both games from developers whose first games I've loved, and they featured on this list last year. We will start with Football Tactics and Glory World, the upcoming sequel to Football Tactics and Glory, a turn-based soccer/football game. World embraces all that the original game gave of intense match tactics, almost to an XCOM degree on the turn-based strategy, team management on the overall side of things, and a bevy of tools from the workshop to work with, along with enriching the world even more to feel like you are part of building a global team. That means this game will include the World Cup and other neat additions that expand the scope, but because of that expansion and the ongoing war Russia has waged in the developer's country of Ukraine, development has been slow going. The reason it drops down below the next game is simply because the following game has a demo to help whet the appetite, and as of right now, Football Tactics and Glory World does not. I'm hopeful this will be the year when it is finally in our grasp though. I had an amazing time with Football Tactics and Glory, building up my program from the bottom all the way to the Premier League, and I really want to be able to do the same for World and add in that additional world focus for the World Cup, for nationality, and all the other expansions that the original game got. Number 6, Alabaster Dawn. After that, we have Alabaster Dawn, the newest game coming out from Radical Fish Games, the developers of Crosscode. Alabaster Dawn is an action RPG with puzzle aspects, much like Crosscode, but instead of being a sequel or taking place in a digital world, we are taken to a new land and new people. Shadows have fallen and the world is becoming a wasteland. Even the gods are on the back foot, but Juno is there to help stop their advance. Hopefully, she can succeed where her compatriots fell. I played the demo of the game and had a blast with it. The story has already hooked me. The action gameplay is even sharper than Crosscode's was, and come on, you can't give me a capybara companion and not get me excited to see what happens. I do still want to see how challenging the puzzles end up being, as I know that is the one area that most players struggled with for Crosscode, but as of right now, I'm hyped for what Alabaster Dawn has to offer. Early access should come in the first half of the year, and we'll just have to hope that once we hit that point, it won't be too long until full release. I do typically wait until full release to fully play through a game, but I will definitely be giving Alabaster Dawn a try once it does release in early access, just so I can see how things are developing. Number 5, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I've played several more Dragon Quest games since my first one in Dragon Quest XI's, and Square Enix seems determined to keep the series fore of mind with another remake of one of their titles in Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Now, I've heard that this one is a particularly long game even by RPG standards, but never let it be said that I back down from a challenge. I was also told that they have reduced the scope for the remake, which is an interesting decision, and we'll see how that plays out, but it does mean that it is a little less intimidating than it was in its prior form. I'm definitely intrigued to see the world of Dragon Quest VII and how different a style this remake is from the others I have recently played. I have had a good time with Erdrick's Trilogy and Dragon Quest XI, but I have never played Dragon Quest games set in a different world than those, and I think that's a great opportunity to see what they can do in VII Reimagined and what it brings to the table that still fits the vibe of the series but has a different scope and world. I also particularly like that they went with a different style for this remake compared to the other ones. I think it really helps it stand out. VII Reimagined gives me similar vibes to Fantasian, which, despite my issues with that game, is still overall a compliment for visual style. It is not higher in part because of timing, since it is coming soon after another game on this list, and I still have to play Dragon Quest II's remake before I'm ready to proceed on to a new Dragon Quest game. So while I do intend to play it this year, it is likely not going to be a day one play. Number 4, Tomodachi Life Livin' the Dream. On my Nintendo 3DS, the 3 most played games are Fire Emblem Awakening, which I've played through several times, Fire Emblem Fates with its 3 different paths, and Tomodachi Life. I have over 100 hours in Tomodachi Life, and that's not even counting the hours that my sister played on it as well. Therefore, it is unsurprising that when the new game was announced for Switch coming in 2026, I was very excited to see it. The original game appealed to me because of the weird emergent storylines that could come about from creating the Islanders, and simply seeing what shenanigans they came up with. Hearts were broken, fights were started, dreams were had. It was all a messy, fun, weird chaos that is unlike any other game I've played. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream appears to offer that with even better graphics, at least one new mechanic that allows you to make meetups happen yourself, and even greater customization in making your islanders. Truly, that's what I want to see. I want to create some islanders, probably after some of my favorite characters, and let them run amok. I don't need anything deeper than that, and I also can't wait to see the creations that my friends and other creators put out for their islands when the time comes. Let the drama commence! Number 3, Trails Beyond the Horizon. The third game in the Calvard arc is coming very, very soon. I already made my video on why I'm excited for it, so if you want to know more, please check that out. It is coming on January 15th, so we are counting down the days. I think the battle system is already looking even better than the first 2 Calvard games. I've heard many great things about the game from those who have played it previously, especially when it comes to advancing the wider narrative of the series, which has been sorely lacking recently in the Trails series. We've got many characters returning that we'll get to adventure with, and then the West will be caught up to Japan for Trails releases for the first time ever. Not having to wait too much longer for it, though, paradoxically has brought it lower on the list because I know it will be in my hands to play very soon. Van's next adventure is nearly here, but the next 2 games have a little longer of a wait for me. Number 2, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Despite all the RPGs and games in general that I have discovered and played since first playing Fire Emblem Awakening, I can still say that Fire Emblem is one of my favorite series. I love the strategic gameplay, the settings, the character writing, building bonds with my soldiers, and seeing what quirks each game brings to the overall formula. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave seems well on its way to joining that legacy, and there are so many questions I want to explore from that single trailer. We've got a game that definitely is set within the world that we first grew to know and love in Fire Emblem Three Houses, using some Colosseum action to get the main plot going and show off our characters. The characters look cool, and simply put, if you bring me some Fire Emblem action, I'm never going to turn you down. I enjoyed Engage, especially on the gameplay side of things, but Fortune's Weave also seems to be going in a story direction that fits more what I like from the series. I do hope it takes cues from the gameplay of Engage, but we will have to see as that is expanded upon in future trailers. This next assumption is also very premature, but I will note that at no point in the trailer does it seem there is an Avatar character, and I have been hoping for the series to go away from Avatar characters for years now. Granted, I still need to get a Switch 2 in order to play Fortune's Weave, but I am patient. I waited until Three Houses was announced in a few months before release to get my original Switch, and my patience paid off by only having to pay $200 for the console along with Mario Odyssey. I'm hoping to be similarly rewarded this time around. I can promise that I will be getting the game, but this game didn't take the top spot. You could say it's because we still have no idea when this year it will come. You could say it's because I'm against the $69.99 price point for games to begin with, so I will be looking for deals before I get it. You could say it's because we've only had one trailer, although that is the case for our number one spot as well. Mostly though, it's because of what game took the top spot. Number 1, Trails in the Sky Second Chapter. Trails in the Sky Second Chapter, the original, is my favorite game in the Trails series. An epic conclusion and exploration of Estelle Bright as a character and the cast and Liberl in general. A pinnacle example of what this series can be at its best, full of lovable characters, intriguing lore, heartfelt interactions, and narrative depth. Second Chapter is the game that solidified my love of the series, love of Estelle, love of the Trails cast in general, and faith in Falcom as a developer. Trails in the Sky Second Chapter's remake, then, has a tall task to undertake. But considering just how great the first game's remake came out, I know that they are up to the challenge. If they succeed then, to the degree I know is possible, this game will be an enduring classic that can do for others what the original did for me. I think Trails in the Sky Second Chapter has the potential to define Nihon Falcom's next era while reinvigorating the series alongside Trails Beyond the Horizon this year. There are also so many moments from the original game that I cannot wait to see portrayed in the new game engine. We've seen some previews of them, such as Annalise and Estelle's duel in the initial trailer. I know this will be coming in September, I know it will be coming for PC, and it will be a simultaneous worldwide release. Therefore, I know that Sky Second Chapter is my most anticipated game of 2026, and I think many Trails fans, new and old, will be right there with me. There you have it, my most anticipated games of 2026, and don't worry, I will be continuing to go through the backlog and other games I've been wanting to play. This year I've even compiled a list of games that I plan to get to among the older titles, games such as Atelier Ryza 3, Dragon Quest II Remake, Xanadu Next, and some more I hope you'll enjoy hearing me talk about. I'm also always open to suggestions, just with the understanding that I will work to get to the titles when I can. Now though, it is your chance to tell me what you are looking forward to playing in 2026. I want to hear about the new releases and the older games you plan to play in the new year, and as you are heading to do so, I would appreciate any likes you would like to provide me. If you have not already, please subscribe to keep up with all the videos and games I play this year, and as always, have a great year, and happy gaming.